Hey guys, let's talk a little bit about Beryl, the new limited character that will be released in version 3.2. She has a unique mechanic attached to her right here. Look at it as something similar as to what Ezio has with his weapon setup. Here you can see that you will be able to choose some crystals, and what this leads to is pretty simple. It makes her versatile so that she can be played in multiple different teams. The teams are the follow-up attack team, the rank up team, or a hybrid version. This hybrid version will be for newer players who do not have access to build a complete team, right? For example, if you want to play follow-up but you don't have Flutter page, now you wouldn't be able to play follow-up. But let's say you have Mercuria instead of Flutter page, then you can choose the hybrid version of Beryl's unique mechanic here to make the team still works, to still be able to build a team with Beryl in it, right? But this is going to be irrelevant for most of the player base. The best and the core build that you want to focus here onto is the follow-up attack team. Let's first get out of the way what a team will actually look like and what Beryl's role will be. You, of course, what is set in stone here, what you already know, is that you will play Flutter page and Fatutu together with Beryl. Now, what her role will be and what her main or sub DPS character will be, that depends on how the three Euphorias for Anionala, Isolde and Calabauna will actually look like. How these Euphorias will turn out, that will decide who the last member of the team will be, and if Beryl will be either the main or the sub DPS. It could go every route, right? You could play Anionala as the main DPS with Beryl as the sub DPS, for example. Right, take it with a grain of salt. Now it depends how these Euphorias will turn out. One of those three will be paired with Beryl, and this will be the new best in slot follow-up attack team though. Now it could also turn out that maybe, hey, Anionala's Euphoria is maybe even not follow-up at all, or it's a little bit underwhelming, let's just make that up. And Calabauna's Euphoria though is super strong, super good, you wanna play her definitely. Then, you can play her with Beryl together if she is follow-up. You know how this goes, you get the point. For what we know right now, for how things look like right now, without us knowing how the Euphorias will turn out, it points towards Isolde will be the sub DPS for this team and Beryl will be the main DPS, and they will be played together with Fatutu and Flutter page. Exactly like you can see here. We have Beryl, Isolde, Flutter page and Fatutu. Now you will notice that there is something unique here. The thing on the right hand side of your screen, there is, like, let me call it a little bottle that you want to fill up. And how do you fill this up is by applying something called halo to the enemies. Halo is, I think you see the animation right here. Wait, let me roll the clip. It looks like an improved version of burn. It will also deal damage. So Halo is an improved version of burn. Now Beryl will create this one right here. Beryl will create a precast incantation at the end, at the beginning of every single turn, by the way. This precast incantation puts Beryl into a force field. This force field makes her allies also be able to apply halo to the enemies. We don't know exactly if this is with everything or just with their follow-up attacks, but the point still stands. All of your allies are able to apply halo thanks to this force field. There is an additional mechanic you can use to fill the bottle more, aside from just applying Halo, and that is by applying burn stacks. So if you apply burn, you also fill the bottle up, and that makes it quicker and more consistent, right? You might get more crit rate due to doing this as well, because the more you fill the bottle, the more crit rate you get. Maybe the bottle will only have to be filled to a certain extent, and the crit rate is flat and does not scale or increase. But that is why Isolde is pretty much very not pretty much, but Isolde is very likely to actually become the sub DPS for this team, because she is all about applying these stacks of burn. And again, it will depend on how her Euphoria will turn out, how much will this burn actually increase the bottle and stuff like this, right? But again, from how things look like right now, this is very likely to actually turn out that way with Isolde. And by increasing this bottle like as much as possible, of course, you would perform more follow-up attacks. Alright, and that's really about it. Let's go over this one more time. So Beryl is all about applying a debuff similar to burn called Halo to all of her enemies. She, thanks to having a precast incantation, enters a force field. This force field makes all of her allies also be able to apply these stacks of Halo. That fills a unique meter that she has called Overflow. Once you fill this meter of overflow enough, Beryl will perform a follow-up attack, which then, with the right amount of setup when it comes to these crystals that you see right here on your screen, will fill the overflow meter up like once it's used. So you will constantly perform follow-up attacks if you apply enough stacks of Halo. You can use burn stack, like the true burn that, for example, a character like Isolde applies, to increase this overflow meter more consistently and a little bit quicker. The more you fill up this overflow meter, the more follow-up attacks you will perform, and additionally you will increase the critical hit rate of your entire team. We don't know if you increase the critical hit rate of your team more, the more you fill this overflow meter, but it is pretty likely to assume that. And that's all about there is to Beryl. And you can see that, on one hand, you can easily see Beryl as the main DPS for the follow-up attack team, because her damage will be quite nuts. She will perform a lot of follow-up attacks, and it has beautiful synergy with Flutterpage and Fatutu. You could also see her as a sub DPS though, because she is she is AP friendly, because she makes it so that her team applies these stacks of Halo through her forced field, which is activated by simply a precast incantation. And so you don't have to play her actively to apply these stacks of Halo by yourself. You can have your team do this. You can have your main DPS, for example, do this. So again, depending on how the Euphoria updates will turn out, maybe Anyanala will be the main DPS for this follow-up team. Maybe you will play Beryl as the main DPS together with Isolde, right, as your sub DPS. We will see how this will turn out in the end. What I can tell you 100% guaranteed, the follow-up attack team is gonna be the best place for Beryl. It will be played with Flutterpage and Fatutu, plus Beryl and one of the Euphoria updates. And that's about it for the video, guys. I hope this was fun and informative. If you like Reverse1999 content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, don't forget to join the Discord server, link in the description down below. Take care of yourselves, have a great day, and Beryl is quite gorgeous.